I didn't get to watch the Sydney versus Brisbane game live, so I'm having a look at it now. Apparently, there are some interesting calls in this game, so let's take a look. The first play is this drive to the ring by Kendrick Davis that gets called an offensive foul. Now, it does get challenged by Sydney, and as we have a look at the replay, the defender is inside the no charge circle, but because he's vertical, because he's jumping up in the air playing defense, the no charge circle does not take effect. The no charge circle is only in play if the defender has both feet inside, completely inside of that semicircle. Because he's up in the air, the no charge circle takes no effect. Interestingly as well, we see that Kendrick Davis makes contact with his elbow to Mitch Norton's head. So then the question of the unsportsmanlike play comes in. That's not deliberate contact. That's Kendrick Davis going up to shoot. He kind of shoots it with his hands out here. Doesn't lead with the elbow, just kind of makes contact as he goes up for the layup. I like that it didn't get called an unsportsmanlike foul. I understand the challenge by Sydney, but it was the correct call. We've got this little passage of play here where this isn't a flop. He tripped over his own feet. And then we have one team wanting a defensive foul, one team wanting an offensive foul. If we zoom in here, it's legal defense by Delhi, so it's definitely not a defensive foul. And then Sydney want the offensive foul for the elbow, but that's pretty much the exact same play that we saw in the first quarter with Kendrick Davis, where he's not leading with the elbow, just the elbow makes contact. Good defense, play on. This foul called on Jacob Holt never establishes legal guarding position. Remember, feet facing first. Feet were planted, yes, but he wasn't facing the attacker, Xavier Cooks. He was to the side. Easy call. Then we have this backcourt violation. Now, this is one that I specifically got asked about. Now, we can't really tell from this camera angle, but it looks like it was last touched by Sam McDaniel. That's what the referees have called in that instance. With a backcourt violation, it's last to touch, first to touch. So who was the last person to touch it in the front court, and then who was the first person to touch it in the backcourt. And it seems like it was Brisbane both times, therefore it's a backcourt violation. And then just to the specific question that I got asked, control doesn't matter when crossing the center line. The person who got the ball had 2 feet and the ball in the front court. Doesn't matter if they just touched it or if they got full control. That counts as the ball crossing the center line. Therefore, it's a backcourt violation. We have this foul which was called an unsportsmanlike on Toy Smith-Milner. Now, it might be a little bit of a harsh call because he did get a lot of ball. But you look at the criteria of what an unsportsmanlike foul is and when to call it. And there's not legitimately attempting to directly play the ball, which you could argue yes. And then excessive or hard contact caused by a player in an effort to play the ball or an opponent. So by the book, yes. I think it was also just a bit of it didn't pass the eye test kind of call. So I don't disagree with this one.